Hello and welcome to this tutorial from learnwithvisionarydesign.com. In this tutorial, you're going to learn step by step how to create this minimalist motion graphics lower third. So let's jump right in. We're going to start by creating a composition. We're going to name it lower third. We're going to make the width 1300 pixels and the height 300 pixels. And the time duration 4 seconds. We're going to start from the type tool and we're going to type our main title. For this tutorial it will be Visionary Design. Let's center the anchor point and adjust the position. Let's stretch it a little bit so it looks better and adjust the position again. We're going to create a frame for the main title. Let's center the anchor point and delete the fill of the rectangle. We'll name this one outer frame and let's name this main title and name the shape layer 1 main title frames. We're going to make the stroke width 4 pixels with the same color of the main title. Let's duplicate the outer frame and make it a little bit smaller than make the inner frame a little bit smaller than the outer frame. And let's select both layers and align them to be centered together from the Align panel. Now let's further adjust the scale and the position, and we have our initial look. We're going to add trim path for both frames. We're going to set start and end keyframes for both frames. Let's name this inner frame for better reference. And we're gonna have to make the frames move as follows. So the offset of the inner frame will be 190 degrees and the offset of the outer frame will be 10 degrees. We'll see why we did that later. Let's press U on our keyboard to bring up the keyframes and move them forward to the first second. We're going to make all the start and end keyframes of the main title frames 50%. So now we can see that they start opposite each other and from the almost the center of the side of each frame, like this. Let's select the main title layer, press P on our keyboard to bring up the position property and set a keyframe in the 20th frame, then go back to the beginning of the timeline and make the main title go out of the composition, so it will move in as we go forward. Let's select all the keyframes, press F9 on our keyboard to easy ease them, and we're going to edit the graph editor of each motion. Let's make it start fast and end slowly for the position of the main title and for the trim path of both frames. Now the main title moves as follows. Now we're gonna need to make the appearance of the main title start right from the left edge of the frames. So we're going to create a mask. We will go from the shape tool and create a rectangle as you can see on the screen. Let's name it main title mask. Drag it above the main title and go to the track matte of the main title and set it to alpha matte main title mask. We will adjust the position of the mask a little bit so it starts from the left to the right and starts appearing right on the edge. Now we're going to create the backgrounds of our lower third. For the first background, let's create a rectangle that exactly matches the outer frame. We'll center the anchor point and choose the color white. For this shape layer, we'll send it to the back of our composition and name it BG1 white. Let's adjust the scale and the position so that it's right within the outer frame of our main title, like this. Now we're gonna have to make it scale from left to right, so we'll set the anchor point to the most left. Let's duplicate it first. We're going to need that later, so we'll hide it for now. Let's go back to our BG1 white layer, press S on our keyboard to bring the scale property, and set a keyframe. We'll send this keyframe to the 20th frame of our composition, and uncheck the constraint proportions, and the x-axis of the scale will be set to 0. This way it will appear from left to right. Let's zoom out. Select both keyframes and press F9 on our keyboard to ease them. We're going to edit the speed graph of the keyframes and make it start slow and end fast. Now we'll go to the duplicated layer. We'll name it BG2 gray and choose the color gray. Let's fit the comp up to 100% of the screen for better view. We're going to make the anchor point of the gray background to the most right. And we're going to make the anchor point of rectangle 1 layer to the most left. It needs to be exactly on the left edge of the layer. Now let's set a scale keyframe within the transform rectangle 1. Send this keyframe further away and make the first keyframe 0 on the x-axis after unchecking the constraint proportion icon. Let's see, the scale fits exactly the same. Now let's bring up the position property and the scale property by pressing P and S on our keyboard and set a keyframe. We'll go a little further and set another scale keyframe that will be smaller, and the position will be to the right. Now the reason the anchor point of the top layer of the main layer BG2 gray layer was on the right side was so that it will scale from left to right when keyframing the outer scale property, and the keyframe and the anchor point of the inner rectangle 1 layer shape was on the left side. This was to make the scale go down from right to left when keyframing the inner scale property under the transform rectangle 1 property. Now we are going to duplicate the BG2 gray layer by pressing Ctrl D on our keyboard and name the duplicated layer BG3 blue layer. And we'll select the color, this color, it's a bluish color. We're going to press U on our keyboard to bring up its keyframes and make the first one of the third background start right after the first one of the one before it. We're going to go to the last keyframes and adjust. The color was supposed to be white. this will be the background of the logo box. We will set the scale so that it leaves a gray bar on the right. This will do for now. Now again we're going to duplicate the BG3 blue layer. Let's name it white again. By pressing we'll duplicate it with Ctrl D and name it BG4 blue. This time it will really be blue. I'm sorry for this mistake. Again, we're going to press U to bring up the keyframes and make the first keyframe start right after the first keyframe of the layer before it. Now we'll go to the end and make the blue box, blue square, scale down to form a bar on the right side. We're controlling the scale of the outer layer, the one that its anchor point is on the right side. Now we are going to select all the keyframes of the backgrounds, F9 on our keyboard to easy ease them again, and then go to the graph editor. In the scale of each background will start slow and end fast, but the scale of the upper background, but the fast ending of the upper background will be slower than the one before it, and so on. Now the position of each background will start fast and end slow, as you can see. And now we're done editing the speed graph for the backgrounds. Again, we're still on the speed graph. Let's see what we've done so far. This will do for the beginning. Now we're going to add the logo with its right vertical bar. We start with the vertical bar by pressing Q on our keyboard to bring up the shape tool, or by selecting it from the toolbar. We'll draw a rectangle and choose the same color of the main title and its frames. We'll name it right thin bar and adjust the scale and the position so that it's exactly the same as the bars next to it. We centered its anchor point using this move anchor point script. It's really a necessary script that speeds up the workflow. You can download it for free. Just Google move anchor point script. Now I guess the scale and the position is just right. We'll press P on our keyboard to bring up the position property. Let's press Ctrl Shift and the first bracket to send the bar to the back of the composition. We'll make the first and second position keyframe. We'll set a position keyframe on the 20th frame, as you can see, and go back and make the bar go to the left so it hides under the other boxes. Now we're going to bring up the logo image. I have it right here. It's a PNG transparent logo. You can have whatever you want. We'll bring it up and adjust its position so that it's right in front of the white box. We'll press P on our keyboard to set a position keyframe right where the second position keyframe of the right thin bar is, and go to the first position keyframe of the right thin bar and set another keyframe by sending the logo to the left so it's out of the white box. We'll select those both keyframes, easy ease them, and make the graph editor in this form so it will appear as a pop. Again, we'll do the same to the right thin bar so they have the same movement. Easy ease, then edit the speed graph. Now we have this movement. Now we want to hide the logo so it appears right on the edge, on the left edge of the white box. We're gonna want to trim the the layer from the timeline so it doesn't appear before this timing. Let's create a mask. We'll name it logo mask. Let's name the logo layer logo, and go to the track matte and select alpha matte logo mask. Now I guess it's done. Let's fit the composition up to 100 and see what we did so far. This is correct. The logo appears as required. Now we're going to create the website link bar and the subtitle bar. Let's start with the website link bar. We'll create a rectangle that starts right on the left edge of the outer frame of the main title. We'll make the color gray, just like the one of the thin bar on the right. Let's name it website bar and send it to the back of the composition. Let's set a keyframe, a position keyframe, send it away, then go to the end of where the logo appeared, right on the end, and select and make another keyframe and send the bar upward. It will hide behind the main title, this way. Let's set the anchor point to the most left so we control the scale better. We'll make it wider and bigger. We'll go to the type tool, make the text size smaller and uncheck the bold, and type in our website link, learnwithvisionarydesign.com. Press Ctrl Enter to finalize the text and choose the color white right from the character panel. We'll adjust the position properly so it's centered, and we'll scale it up a little bit. We'll center the anchor point, set the position as we like, then we'll send it back so that it's right above the website bar. Let's name it website link. We'll bring up the position property by pressing P on our keyboard, set a keyframe right on the second keyframe of the website bar, and on the first keyframe of the website bar we'll send the text upward so they look like they move together. We could have parented the text to the website bar, but changing the website bar's scale later will affect the text, so we're gonna have to animate them separately. Now let's press S on our keyboard to bring out the scale property of the website bar, set a keyframe on the second, right on the second position keyframe, then go further a little bit and set another scale keyframe and make it smaller, make it scale down only on the y-axis by unchecking the constraint proportion. We're gonna have to adjust the position of the bar so the thin line appears right under the website link. Now we're going to duplicate the website bar layer by pressing Ctrl D on our keyboard, then pressing Enter to change its name to Subtitle Bar. This will be the subtitle bar. Let's press U on our keyboard to bring out its keyframes and make the first keyframe of the subtitle bar start right on the second position keyframe of the website bar. Let's go to the end and we're going to make the subtitle bar lower than the website bar. We're gonna make it smaller. Oops, now the movement will change. Let's make it smaller, select the position and make sure the time pointer is on one of the position keyframes so that when you move the layer, all the position keyframes will move accordingly with no problems. Now the size is better. We'll change the color to blue, the same blue color of one of the right bars. Oops, now the scale keyframe got messed up because we changed the scale of the first keyframe. Let's delete it and make another one. We'll make it scale down only on the y-axis. Now the movement is almost done. We'll type in our subtitle. It's now After Effects Tutorials. Let's space it better and center the anchor point, adjust the position. Sorry for the handwriting, for the spelling mistake, but I can't change that now. Oops. We'll adjust the position more. We'll send the text to the back of the composition right above the subtitle bar and change its name to subtitle. Press P on your keyboard to bring up the position property. Set a keyframe, then set the first one so it goes up. No, it's not quite right. We're going to make it start right where the subtitle bar started moving. Right there should work. Now it's correct. Now we're going to trim the beginning of the layers by pressing Alt and the opening bracket so that these layers won't appear in the first of our lower third animation. Right there. And what we have to do now is make a mask for the subtitle bar and the subtitle so that it doesn't appear underneath the website link layers. Let's adjust the position. We'll name it Subtitle Bar Mask, send it backwards and make it right above the subtitle bar. We go to the track mat of the subtitle bar and set it to Alpha Matte Subtitle Bar Mask. Alpha Inverted Matte, so that it appears outside of the mask. We're going to duplicate the mask layer, name it Subtitle Mask, and make the Subtitle Track Matte Alpha Inverted Matte Subtitle Mask. Now the movement, the subtitle and the subtitle bar appear right on the edge of the website link bar. We'll select all the keyframes that we worked with, easy ease them, then go to the speed graph and make all of them start fast and end slow. All the position keyframes and the scale keyframes. This will give a better look to our animation. The subtitle position speed graph. Again, we're on the speed graph, position of the subtitle bar, then the scale. Right there. Now it should look better. Let's go to the beginning of our timeline and press B on our keyboard to set the beginning of the work area. We'll fit it up to 100% and start it. Oops, something seems to be wrong in the masks of the subtitle. Yes, we trimmed them way too far. We have to trim them right there before the beginning of the layers they are the mask to. And send them backwards. This should do it, yes. Now everything is Right, so I guess we finished this lower third animation. Now what we have to do is after the lower third appears, it should normally disappear. So to make its disappearance more creative, we're going to reverse the timing, to duplicate the lower third composition and time reverse it. You'll see what I mean right now. Let's go and create a new composition. Let's name it lower third final. It has the same dimensions, the same resolution, but the duration will be 8 seconds, which is twice as the lower third composition timing. We'll drag the lower third composition to the lower third final composition and duplicate it by pressing Ctrl D on our keyboard. Then select both compositions, right click, go to Keyframe Assistance and Sequence Layers. So the second one will begin right where the first one ended. Let's right click on the second one, go to Time and Time Reverse Layer. So now the first one starts normally and the second one is reversed. This way the lower third disappears in a better way, as you can see. Now all we have to do is add it to our footage. What I have here, let's create a new folder and name it Video Files and create a new composition. This one will be our main composition with a width of 1920 and a height of 1080 pixels. The duration, let's set it to 20 seconds for example. We'll name it Footage. Okay. Now we have to choose our video. You can choose wherever you want. I have this previous tutorial I've created. You can check it out on my channel. Let's adjust it, enlarge it a bit and make the start at this point. We're going to add the lower third final composition to the footage composition and adjust the position of the lower third and its scale so that it's reasonable to look at. Let's see what we have here. As the video plays, the lower third appears and disappears just as we wanted it to do. Let's see it again. Yes, everything is right. Except for the spelling mistake of the subtitle bar. I'm sorry for that. After Effects. It's supposed to be After Effects. So that's it for today. I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more After Effects and graphic design tutorials.